When the congregation step out into the street after 8 o'clock Mass at the parish church of Ballinasloe, a young girl is usually among them. Her name is Evelyn Folan. Except when the weather is too bad, she goes to Mass every day of her life. This morning is rather special, for today, Evelyn is 13 years old. She was born here. Apart from occasional visits to Dublin and the Gaelic-speaking parts of Galway, Ballinasloe is all she knows. Yet she thinks far beyond its confines. She comes of an ordinary middle-class Catholic home. Her father is headmaster of the local vocational school. She has one brother and 4 sisters. She's clever. She came top of her class and won a scholarship to the convent secondary school. In Ireland, where most secondary education still has to be paid for, scholarships are fought over to the last mark. She won't be taking her school leaving certificate for another 5 years, but already Evelyn has devoted a great deal of thought and prayer to the question, what should she do with her life?
Happy birthday, Evelyn.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Evelyn. Happy birthday to you. Thanks.
We have a big surprise for you inside in the sitting room. Come down now to see the surprise we have got for you down here. Now, let me see what we're going to give you. Should I have to open it? No.
Oh, my watch! Golly, thanks.
We gave you that because you did so well at your exam this year.
Put it on, Evelyn. Let's see it. It's lovely. Gosh, I didn't expect a watch at all.
Now, I'll help you on with it. Oh, you're not used to putting on watches. This is your first watch, isn't it? Now, do you like it?
Gosh, it's lovely. Come on, open the others, Evelyn.
Now, this one first, please. Smile using it and this. From Kieran.
Oh, thanks, Kieran. You always manage to think of something funny to give me, don't you? Thanks. Yeah.
And sweet Tanya.
Oh, thanks. You remembered I have a sweet tooth. Thanks.
Now,
Thanks. They're lovely.
pleased your watch?
It's grand. Thanks very much. Well, it was a great surprise this morning when I came home from Mass and I found that Mammy had a watch for me for my birthday. I thought I might get a watch for next Christmas or maybe for my next birthday, but I never dreamt that I'd get a watch for this birthday. And Mammy and Daddy told me that they had given it to me because I came top in the exam, which I did before I went into the secondary school. And now that I'm in the secondary school, I really have to work hard since I have to do my leaving cert when I'm 17. And when I have my leaving cert done, and I hope I do well in it, well, I think I'll become a nun.
But about this question of Evelyn becoming a nun, well, I think she's rather young yet. Later on, I'm sure she'll make up her own mind about it. I would like her, of course, to see a bit of the world before she would make such an important decision. And then, if she still wants to be a nun, I certainly won't stand in her way. As a matter of fact, I would be very pleased about it.
Evelyn is not much use in the house. If she is asked to do a job, she will do it all right. But if she can avoid it, she will. With the result that the other children often call her Ladyship. She is rather forgetful too. Sometimes in the mornings she might spend ages looking for her bag or her books and her coat. She would have forgotten where she left them the evening before. But she never gets fussed. She's very cool and placid and seems to take everything in her stride.
Well, I don't really like doing things around the house, especially cooking. I can only cook anyway, very simple dishes, but I just can't cook anything with eggs in it because I just can't stand the sight of eggs. And I don't care for sewing or knitting either. I'm no good at them anyway. And I just can't imagine myself doing things like Mammy has to do, or being a housewife and having to do all these things around the house.
Now girls, hurry up. You'll get in for school.
I've got 4 sisters and 1 brother. Ona's 11 and Anya's 10. And they're always together. They're really inseparable. I mean, when they come home from school, they go out and play together. And they go to school in the morning together, and they're usually home at the same time. But Ona usually has more lessons to do than Anya has. Sometimes in the morning, if they wake up early, well, they talk and they make as much noise as they possibly can. And nobody else is awake, but they soon have us all awake.
Bye.
Maura is the eldest, and she's 17, and she finished in the secondary school last year, and she's going to the domestic college in Sligo. She's nice. When our birthdays come, she always gives us a good present. And then there's Kieran, he's 6. He seems to like school a lot, and he hates wearing long pants. He says all the other boys at school, they don't wear long pants, and they don't wear this kind of a coat, and they don't wear these kind of shoes, so why should I have to wear them? And he's always running around with his gun, and he bangs it behind you, and you nearly jump out of your skin. But other than that, he's okay.
Bye-bye, Kieran.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, Kieran.
And then Claire, she's 14, and she's in 2nd year in the secondary school. That's just 1 class higher than I'm in. We usually do things together. We like mostly the same programs on television. And if she reads a book and she says, well, it's a very good book, well, I know it's a good book, so I read it, even though maybe I don't like the beginning of it. We go out for walks and we tell each other everything that happened at school, and going to the same school too, we can discuss the teachers between us and all that.
Hello, Mary.
Oh,
Mary.
lovely.
Have you got your lessons done?
No.
What? No, you signed first. Who's got signed?
Oh gosh,
Mary
Mary hasn't a job.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sick.
Oh, I wonder if Mr. Declan would take that for an excuse.
agus níos féin lásáirtíir. A dámór scrutiny a rohór, a dámór justice mílach, ag séúir as a bhui síos go himrin, a jarach just lámór, músas an heam, a tánaí ar éiste an haú, a sin trúisiúil an sór. Quentin scrutiny, sweet Irish passion, Romney,
We're all allowed to pick our own seats in the classroom, and everybody wants to pick the last seat so that they'll be farthest away as possible from the teacher. Sister Sister Agnes teaches us algebra and geometry. She's nice too, and she's very quiet, well, kind of quiet, except when we don't do our algebra, then she's not so quiet. I wanted to sit beside Mary Moore, my favourite friend, so we had to pick a front seat. And the teacher sees us from there, and we can't do anything there. We've just to be very good.
Some people might think, on a casual acquaintance with Evelyn, that she's precocious. I didn't find so at all. Actually, in the recent examinations, she won 3 scholarships. She came either first or second in her class on every occasion. Now, it is usual that the children applaud on such occasions, but Evelyn never sought the limelight in any way. She actually would not let the girls applaud.
Begin.
When we were in the primary school, we didn't learn things like science and Latin and French and geometry before. But now that we've come into the secondary school, they're all new to us. Sister Declan, she's the head nun in the school. She teaches us science, and she's supposed to be very good at maths too. Though I don't know how, because I'm hopeless at them. Sister Declan teaches singing as well as science, and she's got a lovely voice.
Girls, I want to introduce now Sister Mary Declan. She's not only a namesake of mine, but she was a school friend of mine long before you were born. And strange and odd as it may seem, some of the sisters who taught you also taught us. Mm-hmm. And now Sister has come along very kindly in answer to an invitation of mine to tell you something of the work she has been doing in Africa.
Thank you, Sister. Good morning, girls. This is a very wonderful occasion for me to be back in my old alma mater, shall we say, and among the present pupils of the school. For the moment, I just want to tell you your part, how you can help us on the mission fields. You feel here that you are perhaps going to school and your life is yet a long way off before you can take active part in the mission fields. Coming out as science teachers, doctors, nurses, we need you all. Today in Africa, there are millions of little girls like you, very hungry, going to bed without a supper, the victims of ignorance, disease, malnutrition, and superstition, which is really the worst of all, isn't it? They don't even know there's such a thing as God. Perhaps you'd like to ask some questions now before we continue.
Excuse me, Sister, how does one set about becoming a lay missionary?
We are most anxious to have girls and boys come out to help us. In fact, at the moment, we have some 80 girls and boys from England, Ireland, and Scotland. Few from America also. And these are doing a tremendous job in the mission fields. You see, they can do things that we can't do. They can go to dances, for instance. They can play games with the boys and girls. They can live a more intimate social life with the people. Yes, dear?
Excuse me, Sister, if you are a missionary nun in Africa,
yes,
how often would you be allowed home?
Well, it would depend on the country in which you are assigned to. For instance, I was 6 years in Kenya because the climate is very mild there. In West Africa, in some of the countries, in Nigeria, in the very hot climates, it's 2 years or 1 year.
Well, I first began thinking about becoming a nun when I was about 11 or 12 years old, and when some missionary nuns came to our school and gave us a lecture on all the work that the nuns do in Africa. And they also showed us a film on the African missions. And, well, this rather impressed me. And then I thought about becoming a nun. And I think I'd like to become a nun in Africa. And every morning when I go to Mass, I pray that I'll get a vocation, that is a calling from God to become a nun. And Sister Benedict says that this is very important, and that unless you get a vocation, that you really don't become a nun.
We usually find that girls of Evelyn's age, very many of them, imagine that they would like to be nuns when they grow up. But then we're always finding that girls want to be air hostesses or ballet dancers, and there's just as much likelihood of their persevering in that idea as of youngsters of that age deciding when they do grow up to be nuns, because I think that they very often have a sort of glamorous idea of what nuns do, and they visualize themselves as going around in flowing garments and, evangelizing the world, shall we say, in a very glorified sort of way. Whereas when they grow older and realize seriously what the life is, they very often change their minds, just as the ballet dancers and the air hostesses end up by taking office jobs or something of that nature.
Today I'd like you to do a composition on your native town. Now you're all from Ballinasloe and we're all going to write on the same subject. Now I want you to divide your ideas into categories. Understand? Yes. And I want you to develop your ideas to the fullest, that is. Now what categories do you think we'll talk about? Mary?
Locality. History. Location.
Yes.
History, agriculture, industry, and perhaps
what else, Mary?
Social life.
Social life, yes. Who's going to tell me about the location of Ballinasloe? Evelyn.
Ballinasloe is situated on the River Suck, which is a tributary of the Shannon. And it's in the east of County Galway, just inside the central plain of Ireland. And it's the second largest town in the county. And it has a population of about 6,000. And it's quite an historical town.
Well, who's going to tell me about the agriculture in Ballinasloe? Rita, can you say anything about it?
Well, Ballinasloe is surrounded by flat, fertile land, and dry cattle and sheep rearing is the principal occupation of the people, and most of the land in and around Ballinasloe is tilled.
Now let's move on from agriculture. Is there anything you dislike about Ballinasloe? Anything you think could be improved? Moira?
Well, Ballinasloe is 40 miles from the nearest sea, and during the fine weather, the people who have not got cars, they've no opportunity for going to the beach, and the river here is rather dangerous to swim in, and even if we had a swimming pool, it would be much better.
Evelyn, you seem to have a dislike.
We'd like better tennis courts because the tennis courts we have aren't in very good repair at the moment.
Any more dislikes about Ballinasloe?
No.
No? Fine. Well, I take it then you're all happy with it.
Yes.
Well, that's all for today, girls.
Amen. Should I ever call on the cross, how much you're at, standing warm
and Vic, us and Spirit and Leaf. Amen. I get about 10 shillings pocket money, and I get it once a month. I always say to myself, well, I'm going to save at least 5 shillings of my pocket money. And it usually doesn't end up that way. Claire gets more pocket money than I do since she's older, and she usually saves up, and then she'd buy herself a nice blouse or a skirt or something. But I hardly ever do that. I don't really love clothes. I mean, they're just something you have to wear. I think that's quite nice. Well,
blue, that's lamb's wool, a lovely shade. You wear a lot of blue at school though, do you?
We do. Yeah, we do.
Too much. If you don't like it, you can always change it.
Okay.
That's all now?
Yeah. The only sad thing about my birthday is that my grandmother isn't still alive. She died last March, and for a few months before she died, she wasn't very well, so she had to stay in her room most of the time. And every morning we used to come up to see her, and in the evening she'd help us with our homework, as she was a teacher before she was married. And she always said that she'd like one of us to become a nun. So if I do become a nun, I will be fulfilling her wish. Well, hello, girls. You're welcome. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Come on in. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I'll take your coats. Oh, yes, please. Oh, it's lovely. From Deirdre. Well, thanks, Deirdre. It's lovely. Nice. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, red. But it's gorgeous all the same.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Evelyn. Happy birthday to you. Now the candles, Evelyn. One, two, three, 4. Like a snake, walk like a dove. That's what you do.